Hello and welcome to another episode of the Life After podcast. Today, we're finally joined because again, this is another one we've tried to organise for a few weeks now. But she's been a busy lady, and we'll go on to that shortly. But it's a lady that I've been wanting to sit down with for some time now because her story is a sad one. It's one that certainly has sort of a lot of emotions attached to it, but in terms of how she's turned that into what I would call an inspirational positive, is nothing short of amazing. I'd like to introduce Gemma Beasley. Thanks for coming, Gemma.
You're right.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, I mean, I think we started speaking in February of this year, I want to say.
Okay.
You were introduced to me by a mutual friend, as someone that it might be worth softly reaching out to, about coming on the podcast. And I remember your response. You were like, "I've been waiting for your call," and you absolutely made me crease because you said, "I think I want to do it, but I can just imagine myself coming on and sitting there and crying, and there being snot bubbles everywhere." And I absolutely pissed myself and heard that message, yeah. And I thought, I've got to get her just for comedy value, if anything else.
Oh.
So it sort of started there, and then obviously, you know, we started speaking about your charity, which again we'll go on to shortly. Which we're proudly now a partner, a sponsor of, supporter of.
Yeah.
And then one day, I thought I'll ask her again, and then you said I'll do it, which was fantastic, and here we are now. So, we're going to talk about your story first, which again, you know, it's a sad one, and one that I appreciate you coming on and speaking about. So, tell us about Charlie when he was born and the start.
So it went right from the beginning. So Charlie was second child to me and Keith. We've got Georgia, so there's a 5-year age gap between Georgia and Charlie.
Yeah.
And he was just he was just a cheeky Charlie from day one, really. He had that glint in his eye.
Yeah.
He's always been a bit of a terror.
Yeah.
Lovely little boy. We used to call him the stump man because he's always, which now just sends shivers down me sometimes when I think of it like that. But
spent a lot of time at Robert Peel.
We call it the Bobby Peel. Then we're on first name terms. So yeah, so like he was the kind of kid that would be like walking along the monkey bars on the top, and like all of the parents would be looking at him, and I'm like, that's just what he does, kind of thing. He was just always, he was a magnet to danger.
Yeah.
But lovely little lad. Like I say, cheeky Charlie. Everyone loved him. He went to Dosthill School, so everyone, you know, all the teachers knew him and loved him. He had a great group of friends. To be fair, his group of friends that he's got, and I mean, a lot of them were at the ball on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
He was just so lucky to have like an amazing bunch of friends. They were amazing.
You don't realise at the time, do you, when, you know, you look at these group. I think back, and again, I keep in touch with very few of my friends from school, and I was speaking to Tom only the other day about a friend that he sadly lost, and they all still stick together.
Yeah.
And I think I presume they were Charlie's. I saw a lot of young lads there on Saturday. Made me feel fucking old, but no, it looks like they're all there, and you know, like I say, it was sad in parts, but they all just looked like they were having a good giggle, and like they were properly there for him, kind of thing.
They're a good bunch.
It must make you proud. So was Charlie born in Essex then? Was you?
No,
is that where you lived? No, so you lived in Tamworth.
No, we lived in Tamworth. So he was born at Good Hope.
Okay.
So we were already in Tamworth.
Yeah.
And then when he got to year 6, it was like, because we were in Dosthill, it was like it was the in thing for a lot of the kids to go to Kingsbury.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then some of them went to Wilnecote. and all of his friends were going to Kingsbury. She was like, "Oh, we'll send him there."
Yeah, because Bob Morrison knows Max Porter and those guys, and they all went to Lily Daisy Aston, and
Yeah,
they all went to
yeah.
Kingsbury.
Wherever your child goes, if they're going to do well, they're going to do well, aren't they? I know that's a cliche and everyone says that, but it's so true.
Okay, so at school then you'd say, I mean, you know, we've spoke about it, bit Marmite then, bit of a...
He
of
was
a whole
Marmite.
character,
So
yeah.
as soon as he went to Kingsbury, first couple of years, you know, he's a really bright kid, really, really bright kid, did really well in his SATs.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't say he got in with the wrong crowd because they were all lovable rogues.
Yeah.
And they're lovely kids. They're not like nasty kids, bad kids
Yeah.
that are going to go around and beat people up.
Yeah.
But they were just a bunch of lads. They were just lads.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit. So he was in year 8. COVID hit.
Yeah.
And he was a gamer, Charlie was. Loved Fortnite. I always used to get, I need to get home because I'm just about to earn money. I'm gonna win. And I think at one point he was like 20th in Europe on Fortnite or something. He was like, but he was
what did he have, like a strip in his hair where his headset used to go?
100% he had that. I was like, you
Yeah,
need to go and wash your hair. You had that dent in his head.
How long would he plan it for?
How long's a piece of string?
Really?
Especially when it was COVID. It was like he would play all night.
Yeah.
All night, and then go to bed at 7 a.m. and then sleep. But then that was a pattern for a lot of kids.
They didn't need like the fact because they could just talk to each other on there. So it was like they were communicating on there whilst playing, and it was all into one.
It is, and I think they needed that, didn't they, at the time as well? They needed that connection with people because they couldn't.
Yeah,
they couldn't, you know, they couldn't go out, could they? And he really, really, really missed that. So when he went back to school, I think it was just like a novelty to be with his mates again. And there was the 4 of them. There was him, Harry, Jeff, and Joe. Yeah. And he used to say, "You're going to go out with your mates." Not my mates, they're my brothers. They were like that close.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were just lovable rogues, weren't they? And it got to the point where it was like, which route are you going to take, Charles? Because you could go down that way and go down the real wrong route, or we need to steer you in this direction. But he had his own mind. He was loyal as well. He was so loyal, but to his detriment sometimes.
So do you? And that's an interesting point you made because again, I think we all go through that with our kids, or certainly did with Bob. And to be fair, Bob probably chose the wrong way. I think, like you say, against the way he was treated at school. But he's recently sort of looked around and thought that way is probably not going to be the one to continue on. And he's now shown himself out. He's driving, he's got a little job, and, you know, happy days. What age did you see him at the
crossroads? So when I had, I'm just trying to think. So when I had Teddy, because he's got a little brother called Teddy, that was in 2019. So Charles would have been 14. He would have been 14 at the time, and he was still a little one then. He was still gaming and stuff, and you know, he was still kind of on the right track. I would say, not that he wasn't on the wrong track, 'cause I'm making him sound like he was a real tearaway, and he wasn't. I would say when he got to about 15.
I think what you're saying, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying where if you choose to go a little bit more that way or that way, where it goes, the longer version of what that looks like, and you do worry. And I think that, you know, again, if we go back to how we felt when we were that age, at the end of the day, like you say, you're going to do what you're going to do, and if you are loyal, you're probably going where your pals are going.
Exactly.
And it sounds like, because we're a tight knit group,
I used to get, you can't stop me going out with my mates. They're my friends, and that's it. They're my brothers. But there was a group of girls as well. There was a group of girls, and I used to call them the Goonies. Because if you imagine the Goonies,
yeah.
The lads would have the tops off. Where are we going now? And they used to go down to Yard. They used to call it, and it was that. It was that garden centre in between. I don't know whether you remember it, in between Dostal and Kingsbury on the right-hand side as you go past the malt house.
Yeah.
There used to be a garden centre there.
Yeah.
and that had closed down from COVID. So they used to go, there was electric in there and everything. They could go and charge their phones and stuff. They used to call it Yard.
Wow.
God,
Okay.
God knows what else they used to do down there.
Yeah.
But they were all just so lovely, and they all just really loved each other and looked after each other.
And that, again, regardless of that way, your son's in a good little unit there. They've got each other's backs.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you can look at some of these young lads and they're all together when they're together, but in terms of when something goes on top sometimes, and if one potentially gets picked on, the others might turn, but it sounds as if
there was a few times where that group got picked on and Charlie got stuck in, shall we say, and don't do that to my mates.
That's
and
it. Yeah. Well, and that's commendable, definitely. I think so. Anyway, Sodom. So let's talk about, you spoke to me prior about how these sort of nights started to occur of sneaking out, and when did that start?
I would say so Charlie got a girlfriend, I would say, I think it was March of that year.
Yeah. How did that affect the lads? Did he go with the bird and then still see the lads, or was it?
And I was really kind of like hoping to steer him towards girlfriend and his other friend that had a girlfriend, and they used to like kind of do things as a four.
Two man.
Yeah,
whatever they call it.
And I used to steer for that. But like he was just all for his mate, really. But like what I liked about that was he got to do some grown up things, if you know what I mean. Like they went to London with a parent as well, but like they went to London, they stayed in a hotel, they went for nice meals. He actually got a chance to have a little glimpse of adult life in a way. So I'm really grateful for that. I'm really grateful for that. So that was in the spring, and then that summer of 21, we'd moved house. And we were in like a 1930s house, and me and my husband are in what would have been the attic.
Okay.
So we were on a different level to Charlie, and he'd got an ensuite and everything in his room, and this tall window. So if he wanted to, it was going to be easy to sneak out. But we never thought he would.
Favourite. Yeah. You don't do it.
Do most kids do that? Do most lads?
I definitely wouldn't have. I mean, I was, again, I was a normal lad, I'd say, but again, going out at night without parents.
Brave, isn't it?
I think
and
so.
Stupid.
Yeah.
But what we
stuntmanish, you'd say.
Very stunt.
Yeah.
What we found out that he was doing this, and he'd confided in his sister and said that we were doing this, and he was like, all of us were doing it. So his mates in Dostal were doing it, and they'd all meet up at Dostal Park at 2:00 in the morning, get back at 4.
And at school the next day?
No, this was normally of a weekend.
Of a weekend, yeah.
But what they
not that makes it right, by the way, but I'm just sort of.
And he'd make like he'd make a body in the bed to make it look like he was in there, and they were really good.
Yeah.
Really,
did he change
really
up the shape, like, so?
Yeah.
Oh God, little
He'd have
monkey.
all sorts in there.
Tell you what, yeah. The things to do.
And then, thankfully, my daughter had said, "Listen, you need to know, and the other mums need to know this is happening." So,
must have been hard for her to do that.
Yeah, she did. She was a bit torn. But she did, and I had a word with him. He was like, "Yeah, no, we don't do that anymore. It's done now. We've got that out of our system," kind of thing.
Yeah. So was you in like a WhatsApp group with your mums, and was you basically confiding each other?
Yeah.
What do you reckon? And they all come to the same conclusion, sort of
and
thing.
We just thought, it's gonna. We've all had it out with them. It's all gonna finish.
Yeah.
And then we thought that was over. We thought that was over, and obviously it wasn't.
Okay. Talk to me about the night.
So, Charlie went down to Essex, because his dad's from Essex, his family's from Essex.
Yeah.
Went down there to see them, him and Georgia and Keith, and they came back up on the 27th of December.
Okay.
And he came in and like he gave me the biggest hug. Like it was almost like he knew something was going to happen, because he gave me the biggest hug, and then he sat down with Teddy, his little brother, who was 2 at the time, and he just sat on the sofa and was just giving him squeezes. And I was
Was
like,
that not normal then?
he
Did it just
did,
seem
but
a bit?
it was just a bit more than what he would
Mm,
normally do.
yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to go and see Izzy, his girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
He was like, no, I'm going to go and see my mates. I need to go out. And it was almost like something was drawing him out.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I settled down and he was like, I'm going to go out for a bit. I said, all right then, mate, but it's 7 o'clock now. You need to be in for 9:30.
Oh, she's going to be dark, yeah.
Yeah, so is there any point? No, I need to go out. Okay. So he went out. And throughout the night, I was getting messages. Can my mates stay tonight? Can they have a sleepover, the 3 of them? And I was like, no, mate, we've got a little one. All the alcohol was out in the kitchen because it was Christmas. It was in between Christmas and New Year. No, anyway, cut a long story short, he wangled it down to 1. He said, can Joe stay? And I was like, okay, one of them, they can be in the bedroom. Okay. So they came back. We went to bed.
Yeah.
And I think his friend's dad had given him some money to get a takeaway. Said, ordered a takeaway. We heard the takeaway come. Door went. And we just fell asleep.
You know what?
Thinking we're safe in bed.
At that time of year, you're knackered, then, yeah. You've done Christmas and everything, and you just sort of like, yeah, like you say, you start to get early nights and whatnot, I guess. So,
But I remember going into his room. He was sitting in the corner, and I says to him, no, I love you, mate. And he went, love you. And I said, no smoking and no sneaking out. And he went, no, of course not. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And I went, love you, night. And I still look into that corner of the room now. Every night I go in there and say goodnight, and I just imagine him there.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I went to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Went to bed and went to the toilet about 5.
Yeah.
And came back and checked my phone, and I'd got all these missed calls and texts, and it was off his friend's dad. Can you call me? There's been an accident. So I go downstairs, see they're not in there, thinking, oh my God, he's snuck out again. There's been an accident. Charlie's had a fall, is all I got. And I thought, we're going to be down the Bobby Peel again.
Yeah,
He's broke his leg, he's broke an arm or something. And I go downstairs and I call his friend's dad, and they live out in the countryside. And all, when it's all glitchy and it's like,
Yeah.
And all I heard was, it's not looking good. And my heart.
And you heard that clearly?
Yeah. And my heart literally came out of my chest.
Yeah.
So he said, you need to get down to the warehouse. It was just down the road by Morrison's.
Okay.
So I called his dad and I said, Charlie's been in an accident. We need to get down. It's only 5 minutes from us. I said, we need to get down to this warehouse.
Yeah.
I'll meet you down there. So I went to get in my car. And as I went to get in my car, there was a police car on the drive, or just off from the drive. And they were just sitting there in the car, probably thinking, what are we going to say?
How are we going
Might be the first time they've ever had to do it.
Mm.
So I knock on the window, and they come out and they said, you need to go back in the house. And I just screamed because I just knew that it wasn't good. And they just said, they took me in and sat me down and they just said, we're so sorry. And I just knew.
Mm-hmm.
So Keith, Charlie's dad, then turned up, and I just shook my head and he just broke down. And then from there, it's all a bit of a blur, if I'm honest. It's just, we went to Georgia, because Georgia was living with her dad at the time. So we went back to Keith's house.
Mm.
And woke her and Jack up, her boyfriend, and I said, something's happened. Said, Charlie's had an accident.
Yeah.
And she actually thought we were surprising her with a car. She thought we wanted to wake her up and we bought her a car and it was outside. And she was like, are you having me on? You're having me on. And we said, he's gone. And she was just, she just was just bewildered. She just, what when you hear that your brother's passed, as in, like, you know, when your son's passed, what do you actually think?
Yeah.
So it was almost like we had to keep going. So I said, we're going to have to go and let his girlfriend know. So we went to his girlfriend's house and knocked on the door. And I think at this point it was about 6:30, 7.
Mm-hmm.
And she said I knew something was up because she got him on Find Friends or Life 360 or something. She said, I could see that he was still at this warehouse. And I was like, why are you still at this warehouse?
Yeah.
And I said, there's an accident. There's been an accident, is there? And she said, what's happened? And I said, he's fallen. And I said, and he's gone. And she went, oh no, oh no, oh no. And then she went, but he's okay, isn't he? And I went, he's gone. And she just kept going, but no, he's okay, he's in hospital, isn't he? And it was just it was too much for her to get a head round.
Just won't accept it. Yeah.
So yeah, what actually happened was he waited for us to be asleep. They had the curry, and about 2:00 they made their thing in the bed that they do to make it look like they're there.
Do you want a drink?
I'll have is that my water? Thank
Could
you.
you just open up? I'll swear
Thank
you look.
you.
Oh, no.
No, that's fine, thanks.
You're doing amazing. Okay.
Is it all right to stay there?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So had the curry. Yeah.
Had the curry. Went out and they went to watch the sunrise.
Oh.
Even though it was absolutely pouring down with rain and it was winter, so the sun weren't going to rise until about 8:00. So they went out, they went down the road, and there's a vet's on our road. They went on that roof, wasn't big enough. Went to go to Morrison's, thought they'd be able to get on Morrison's roof. Obviously they couldn't.
Yeah.
Walked around towards the warehouse, and for some reason there was a ladder that was attached to the warehouse that they could just pull down. And they went up, and it's got like a split roof, the warehouse has. So they walked along like the entrance bit and went onto the roof, onto one of the roofs, and just sat there. And they were just playing Clash of Clans or whatever it was at the time. And they just sat there for like 40 minutes and it was still on. I think George has got it on his Snapchat. He was doing videos. We can hear what last song he listened to. It was just, yeah. After about 45 minutes, he said to his friend, I'm really cold now. It's freezing. We're soaking wet. It was absolutely pouring down with rain.
Yeah.
And he said, should we go home? Yeah, let's go home. So he got up. And as he got up, he said to his friend, be careful, it's really, really slippy on here.
It's just how they always seem like it, yeah.
It was just wet.
Was it?
It was just really wet. And as he's got up, he was on, so if you look at that warehouse, they've got like, it's like corrugated.
Yeah.
And there's clearer bits that are windows,
Yeah.
like plastic windows. And I think Charlie must have been on one of them and he didn't realise.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weaker.
Yeah.
And as he got up, he slipped and his whole body weight hit the roof and he went straight through. Joe got up and called his name and all he could see was darkness and he couldn't hear anything. So I think the first thing Joe did was call his dad, and his dad was like, you need to call the ambulance, you need to call the police. So that was that. And his dad turned up, and I don't really know much about what happened. I know that they tried to resuscitate Charlie, but there was a lot of blood, and I think he died on impact. I hope he died on impact.
Yeah, I understand why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the way his friend found out, he said to one of the policemen, he said, "What's going on? Is he okay?" And he just turned around and went, "Your friend's dead." And he just ran off. And then he went home, because I can imagine now we're not in contact with him anymore, just because I think it's too much for him and it's too much for us as well to be in contact with him, because I've got a lot of...
Could have been handled better though, again, by that policeman. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's a bit disgusting, that, but still, doesn't surprise me sometimes.
I've got a little bit of resentment, because I'm kind of like, if he wasn't with him, would it have happened?
I get it. I totally get it. You know, you wondered that, you know, I know you say you've got a version in your head, and, you know, in terms of, shall we go home? Or did Charlie suggest to go home sooner? You know, was he, could he have been stood in the opposite place, and why him? It must all go through your head.
If I do the what ifs, it would just torture me, because what if it wasn't raining? What if he didn't have a sleepover? What if he'd stayed in Essex? You know, there's so many what ifs, and for a lot of grieving parents, they don't like the saying everything happens for a reason, but it gives me comfort to think that Charlie had ticked all his boxes. He really lived, and boy, he lived a life. He lived it to the max. And I think he ticked all his boxes. He'd even said and it was only a while after I spoke to his best friend, and he said, he always used to say to us, "I'm not going to be here for long, I just know it." It's like he knew it. And in a way, in a weird way, and people probably won't make sense of it, but it gives me comfort to think that he wasn't going to be here for long. He was just supposed to be here for those 16 years.
And fill them up to the max, with all the danger and all the...
Yeah.
You know, and you know, what you'd call a real fulfilling friend group and whatnot, it can't make it any easier. Is definitely something I'd say. But I remember sitting there Saturday, and I thought, fucking hell, if a room filled up like this for me, you know, and I know that this is because of the amazing work you do, but ultimately they're there for Charlie and the story, aren't they? And that's the really amazing part about it.
It wasn't until after he passed away that we realised how popular he was. He was quite a quiet kid.
Yeah.
He wasn't mouthy. He was just quietly in the background, like I said, loyal to his friends, loyal to his family. Just a really decent lad. Like his sister said on that VT, like, he'd say hello to absolutely anybody in that corridor at school. To anybody. "You all right? You all right?" Yeah. Like, there was no airs and graces about him. He was just a good lad.
Yeah.
A good lad. And it wasn't until after he passed that we realised how much he was loved.
Which again must absolutely fill you full of pride. I apologise. You got me going a bit there, because it's just the way you speak about it. And I remember having the meeting in my office at work, and you had me blubbering, didn't you? I remember, and like, I was just like, the way you speak about it, and actually, you, when you told the story, in the office, you almost, I saw you grow strength as you was talking about it, and by the end of it, you were like, as if you're looking at me, as if to say, "Get yourself together," kind of thing. And that, no, but you honestly, you do. You are absolutely amazing with the way that you speak about it. And you text me the other day saying, I'm nervous, and I said, do you remember what you did on Saturday night? Do you remember you speaking in front of 400 people? And do you remember how much sort of composure, and you stood up there like you were, I don't know, you were hosting the Grammys or something. It was mega. You know, you're amazing.
I think because I talk about Charlie's wings so much and I talk about Charlie so much, I think I've said to you before, it's almost like I have to apologise to people and say sorry if I seem desensitised to it. It's because I talk about him all the time, and as a family, like I said on Saturday, my family are so amazing. Like, we talk about Charlie all the time.
Yeah.
We cry, we laugh.
Yeah.
Which just really open. Like, we talk to Teddy about Charlie all the time. He says goodnight to Charlie every night. He looks at his picture in the living room.
How old's Teddy now?
He's 6 now.
Is he?
And he's the absolute image of him. He's I hope it's not something that I've put on him.
Yeah.
But because I'm just like wrapping him in cotton wool, which is
Can imagine.
it's unfair on him, really.
Yeah.
But it's just,
But
I'm
you
like,
see,
he's not going out when he's older.
you see Charlie in him.
Massively, yeah.
Yeah. Hard at times,
Um,
or is it like?
I get comfort from it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was 40 when I had Teddy. My husband's 51, so like, it's he was a surprise. Let's say that.
Yeah.
So he was a little surprise.
Yeah.
And at the time we were just like, oh my God, we didn't plan this. But now I know why he's here, and not that he's replacing Charlie, but he is our gift. And I just think if it wasn't for him, you know, I could be crying and Mummy, you need something. You know, I had to get out of bed. I had to get up and show up every day because I had a little one.
Yeah.
And I thank him for that, because if it wasn't for that, I'd probably still be just stuck in bed thinking, do you know what? F the world.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. They're there for, you know, for frustrating reasons sometimes, but sometimes they are your absolute rock and strength.
I genuinely don't know whether I'd be here if it wasn't for him.
Explain to me this thing. This was again in the office when we had the meeting. You've got this feeling of Charlie pushing you, and sort of, you know, the charity and all the rest of it, and the heights you've got to, and where it's going.
So, like I said before, like when he passed, I could have gone either way. You know, I could have just been a mess. I've got a yoga studio in Tamworth, so as you can imagine, after Charlie passed, I wasn't there for a bit. And for different reasons, which I won't go into, I was forced to go back. I think it was the end of February I went back. So this happened end of December. It's not a long time, but actually I'm really grateful that I had to go back now, and it forced me to do it. And it's just such a weird feeling, because I just got this strength from somewhere, and I don't know where the strength came from, but it was almost like Charlie was like, come on, Mum, come on, you can do this. And I felt genuinely that didn't come from me. It came from somewhere, but it didn't come from me. But I just felt like I was being lifted by him.
Do you know what I hear there? Do you remember, like, it's weird, you know, you were saying about him going that way or that way.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
You could have done the same.
Absolutely.
And it just sounds like, you know, if you are to believe that way, then it's lovely. But you've got a bit of mischievousness in you, and you're not expecting this, what I'm about to say, because do you remember sending me a message on the 9th of September saying you said you were coming to the ball?
Yeah.
And I went, fuck.
And you thought it had happened, didn't you?
Yeah, because you sent me these weird... I don't know why you did it. I think you were checking I was still coming in the end.
Yeah.
But you blagged me that I'd missed the ball. And I was like, you absolute... Because I was... I think turns clown. I was like, we've missed it. I was beside myself. I was absolutely... And then you were like, crying faces. I was like, you fucker. You got me a bastard there. But, no, like I say, it's all good fun. So... The charity itself, explain more about it, and
Yeah.
its what its aim is, and core
So
values.
when Charlie passed, obviously in between Christmas and New Year,
Yeah.
the school got 1 day grief counselling for the whole school and the teachers.
One day.
1 day. And then you don't have to be, a specialist to realise that isn't enough. So we noticed there was a couple of his teachers. There was a teacher that he was close to throughout his school life at the school. I won't say names, but he had to go on the sick for months.
Really.
I'm not sure if he ever went back.
Mm.
But we noticed his friends were just on this downward spiral. We noticed because we were working closely with the school as well, that the school and the kids just couldn't cope with their grief. They couldn't cope with it.
Did his mates go back in like the first day back at
Yeah,
school? They were
yeah,
back in.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think even the head was crying at the assembly.
Mm.
And again, the lads went down. Some of them went down the wrong road. They started smoking weed. There was one parent that called me up and said, "I'm sorry to burden this on you, but my son, I found like 10 aerosols underneath his bed. He's sniffing aerosols. Like, they just can't cope. They can't cope." And these are just some of the stories. We were getting this a lot. So we were like, we wanted to keep Charlie's name alive.
But they were coming to you for strength.
They were coming to us, yeah. Yeah. So we were like, how can we help these children? So we started looking into how we could help, and there was just very little help for mental health for young people. So
Yeah.
we were like, what a perfect way to kind of keep his name alive, but also help, the young people of our community.
Mm.
So we set up a CIC. We're actually a CIC, Community Interest Company.
Mm-hmm.
So we set all that up. And we started fundraising straight away just to get some money in so we could start helping the children.
Didn't know where it was going, but it was going.
No, we didn't. Again, it was just this drive. I didn't know where it was coming from, but it was coming from somewhere. And then the community were amazing. I mean, we did football fun days. My friends are just amazing. Like, they've not stopped. They're still going with that momentum. Once we'd raised some money, we started helping them. So we did one-to-one counselling. We had a counsellor in Charlie's school, in the high school, and we hired a counsellor to come into my school, 3 Peaks, once a week as well. So we started there, and it just grew. It just grew and grew. Then we went in for some national lottery funding, and we got it. I was just like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
So we
got long, or
we got that for the first year. The application, no. I think it takes about 16 weeks to get an answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had some funds to kind of have that foundation, and we've just grown, and we've grown from. We don't just do one-to-one counselling. We do it in schools. We do it outside of schools. So we've got a safe space in Tamworth that, on appointment, children can come in and see a specialist and speak about anything they want to. And then we went on to somebody mentioned about prom.
Yeah.
So we were like, I think it was one of the schools, and they were like, why don't we get some donated prom dresses, just have a rail in the school hall, and we'll do like a prom initiative. So we're like, brilliant idea. And that just has gone boom. So now we've got about 200 dresses. So we're always circulating about 200 dresses. We get donated dresses, so we get them dry cleaned. And I mean,
was that in the videos on Saturday?
That was our latest one. Yeah. And then we've got some really good relationships with some prom dress shops.
Yeah.
One of them was there on Saturday.
Yeah.
And and they don't donate so many dresses to us. I mean, some of them have got £500 on the tag.
By the way, I love that girl, the young girl who jumped up.
Lola.
Lola. Fell in love with Lola, didn't we? Yeah, Lola. She was. Yeah, I couldn't.
She faces she's got
she
a
was
lot.
a little star in that room. She was.
Yeah. I'll talk about her in a minute because she's a little star. So, and it's just got bigger and bigger. So first and foremost, with the prom dress sale was like, we just want these kids to have. We don't want the families to have the stress of, because it's so expensive. And that just went from that to actually we could sell these dresses. I mean, I think the highest we sell them for is like £70. So like they're getting a £500 dress for like 70 quid. So
is that what they cost?
We actually raise.
By the way, our girls never going to a prom.
Yeah.
We've got some coming your way.
We have got some amazing dresses.
That's amazing, though. Like,
and that's just grown. So we now do 2 a year, and as you probably saw in the video, the girls come in and they're like, oh, don't know what I'm looking for. Don't really want to be here. Don't like looking at myself in the mirror. And they start trying the dresses on, and you see them like, actually, this one looks quite nice.
So at a moment, spin the mirror on them, and they're like, "Whoa!" Look
and they're
at
just
me,
pushing it. The whole demeanour changes.
Yeah. It was lovely to watch.
And the amazing thing is, they leave and they kiss their mum and they go, "We've got the dress," and we sit there and we cry because we're just like, "Oh my God!" Like it's just amazing. And that's just like an afterthought, a spin-off of Charlie's Wings, really, what we do. So that's one thing we do. 2 things we do. And then we also do one-to-one tutoring for certain children as well. So there was a girl that Charlie knew, who was a friend of Charlie's. She had this issue at school. She had a phobia about sick, and she was sick once at school, and then she got to a point where she couldn't go into school because as soon as that door was shut, she was in class and she couldn't get out. So she just didn't go to school for a long time, so she didn't pass her GCSEs. And we put her through her maths and her English, and we got her onto a mentoring system, which we've started as well. So we got her through her exams. We got her volunteering at my friend's dance company. And now she's teaching there. She's doing a qualification. She's back at college. She's even cheerleading. So, and the difference in her now.
You told me about the school the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, and actually at the thing on Saturday, the Winter Ball, I don't know whether you saw it on the screen. She wrote a letter about.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, and that's her. That's her, just with her handwriting, saying how we've changed her life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about changing lives, and she was brimming with confidence. Lola talked to us about her then.
Lola.
Yeah,
So at Kingsbury School, where Charlie went, they do like an awards evening in July, and it's always like kind of like the humanities award, or I think most schools do, it's sport awards. So unfortunately there's been quite a few children that have passed away from Kingsbury.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. And because Charlie was sporty and loved his football, his is the Charlie Smith Memorial Sports Award.
Okay.
So we were there, and there was a girl there the first year that had won an award. She'd only been there for a couple of weeks for all the fundraising that she'd done.
Yeah.
And she'd done it for another lad that had passed away. But his family don't have much to do with the school, so they didn't get back to them. So she was like, I want to do it for Charlie's, a charity for Charlie's Parents' Choice.
Yeah.
And we were like, wow, if you want to do some fundraising, that's great. Let's do it for Charlie's Wings. And when I was told about the way Lola was described, so she's been through a lot in her short life. She's got Tourette's, autism, ADHD, PTSD for things that have happened in her past. What else? You name it. She's got anxiety. And when we were introduced, I imagined, I know you shouldn't really, but I had imagined this like tiny little girl whimpering, kind of like, you know, just
almost
really quiet.
Broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, Gemma. She's amazing. She is full of life. And she's just a bundle of joy. She's just brilliant. She calls my mum Sexy Sandra.
Yeah, but your mum's a bit of a sort. I've met her a few times now. I like her Sand. She's funny.
Sexy Sandra.
She's funny. But what I noticed is because obviously you called up is it Alison? You called up a few of the volunteers.
Yeah.
Lola got up there twice as fast as any of them. I don't know what route she took, but she was bang straight up there, and it was just
She's
lovely.
brilliant.
It was absolutely lovely.
She does loads of fundraising for us. She's just dedicating her life to. She's a police cadet at the moment.
She's loving life.
Yeah, she's loving life, and she said, you know, we're just doing so much for Charlie. She's got loads planned for next year. I think she dresses up as Santa at Morrison's, and she just
Brilliant. Yeah. Let's have it. Just get stuck in.
She's nice.
So what did you think to Saturday then?
It was all right, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all right. I said to you, how you feeling? You said, yeah, I'm a bit knackered. Well, I said it was hardly a quiz down the Queen's Head, was it? You know what I mean? It was a fucking big gig, man. And like how you've done all that and put it all together. And I know you've had loads and loads of help, but you know, you're the one that kind of like put it all together. And you must be absolutely like gagging for the next one because, well, have a rest. But you know, it was just.
I was just saying to Claire, it's like going into labour. You think never again.
Yeah.
And then you give it a couple of weeks and you forget and you go, oh, maybe.
Get the itch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this was our third one.
Yeah.
We're normally, so it's at the Belfry. We're normally at the Woodlands, which used to be the biggest venue, the biggest room. I think that's about 260.
Yeah.
And obviously the Masters opened and we were like, shall we do it? It's a minimum of 300, and it is a year in the making though. Like, I would say from I think actually about the week after the last ball, I've got the band booked, the room booked. I've done a lot. I can't. I'm not one for relaxing. I just have to get back on it.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's kind of my way of coping with things a little bit.
Yeah.
I when I stop, I feel, so I just have to keep going.
I like to be busy.
Yeah.
I'm no good with my own thoughts.
No.
No, dangerous. No. Yeah, not good.
No.
But like I said, from me, well done. Sadie was amazing, and I was proud that our name was up there on the sponsors.
No, thank you so much for supporting us.
And didn't get to have that dance with your mum. No,
Oh,
I was at the back of a long queue. You know what I mean? It was hard, but she did make me laugh a few times that night. That bloody flood on that road. I'm in phase. She was getting mad about all sorts, but yeah, she's got some energy as Sandra. But you're actually training to do. You training to be a counsellor, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
talk to me about that.
I've after Charlie passed and obviously creating Charlie's Wings and things, I could have, like I said to you, I could have gone down either route. I could have been fuck the lot of you, or I don't know why, but I've just got this. I've got so much empathy for people, and I don't actually know where it's come from. Yeah. So I signed up for a level 2 and a level 3 at counselling college. So I've done my level 2 and my level 3.
How long's that took?
They were 6 months each.
Okay.
And now I'm doing my degree, which is 2 years. Which it's hard work because it's not just kind of getting the degree, it's getting all your volunteering hours in as well. I have to do 100 hours of voluntary counselling. Yeah, I have to have 40 hours of my own personal therapy, which I only started last week.
Yeah. How'd that go?
Felt weird being on the receiving end. Yeah, it felt weird actually, because obviously training to be a counsellor, I'm always the counsellor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of give it a all in a nutshell. I'm like, what do I talk about next week then? But I need to remember I've got to trust the process.
Yeah, and you don't strike me as naturally someone that likes it to be about you.
No, it feels a bit self-indulgent, doesn't it, to talk about yourself?
Yeah.
But I'm sure I'll get used to it. I've got to do at least 40 hours of that, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, you'll find something.
That'll be fun. I'm just going to open a heart. I don't really, because I've been so busy since Charlie passed with everything. it's almost like, yeah, I just don't know what's gonna come out. I don't even think my grief journey has started yet. So this will be, I know it's got to come out, because grief will come out.
Yeah.
It'll seep out of you, won't
I
it?
always said to you, the last 12 months probably my hardest since Sally passed, and it's been
Yeah.
nearly 5 years in December. Last 12 months been the hardest
Yeah.
because again, stopped. You know, the drinking, spirits, and all these things that used to knock me out to sleep and all that shit. And guess what? Start to think about stuff then. Start to be a bit more coherent about situations. Start to actually realise that it's okay to actually think about yourself.
Yeah.
And I know where you're at in terms of being scared of that.
Yeah.
And it's a scary place, but
I know it's got to happen.
it's got to happen.
I know it's got to come out.
You've done harder and bigger,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know, but and it's about you. You've got to take some time for yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll be a counsellor soon then.
Well, yeah.
When do you hope to qualify?
So I'll qualify in April 27, which sounds really far away, but it's not really, is it? 18 months.
Yeah.
So
Actually,
hopefully,
your schedule, it's just going to fly by, isn't it? Yeah.
I've got a lot going on. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, what am I today?
Yeah.
Which head have I got on today? So it's all good.
Well, you're an inspiration, and I'm glad I've met you. That's all I can say, really. You know, and normally I'd shake hands at this point, but I want to give you
Oh.
thank you so much for coming on, and you've done amazing.
Oh, thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh.